Konnichiwa everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Whycare, and today I'm going to share with you 3 tips to learn Japanese or Nihongo way faster than anyone else. Alright, let's get started. So the first tip would be learning Mandarin, and I will be telling you why learning Mandarin is such a big help for you to learn Japanese in the next section. So let me explain to you. In Japanese language, there is hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So kanji is basically the traditional Chinese character, and this kanji have the similar pronunciation and meaning with the Chinese character. So if you know how to read, write, or speak Chinese, then kanji wouldn't be a problem for you. So for Japanese kanji, there is 2 types of pronunciation, which one we call it onyomi, and the second one we call it kunyomi kanji. So for the onyomi kanji is basically the pronunciation that is very similar to Chinese, and as for the kunyomi, it sounds completely different from any Chinese character. So in this slide example, as you can see, the first one, the country. So in kunyomi we read it as kuni, but for onyomi we read it as goku. And to read country in Chinese, we read as guo, which pronounced very similar as the onyomi kanji. Okay, then let me show you a better example. Okay, so for this picture, as you can see, is a kanji word for mountain. So in kunyomi kanji, we read it as yama. But in onyomi kanji, we read it as san. And listen carefully, in Chinese, we read this as shan. As you can see, for the pronunciation, the difference from onyomi kanji and Chinese for the word mountain is just that Chinese has the H between them, S-H-A-N compared to S-A-N only. So as I said before, the Japanese kanji is actually the same with the Chinese traditional. But this is a magic, and I'm also curious why. Because I'm a Malaysian Chinese, so we never learn Chinese traditional in school or anywhere. But when I read the kanji or the traditional Chinese, I just know how to read it, and I don't know why. So if you are a passionate foreigner like me that really passionate learn Japanese, and if you are also interested in learning Chinese, then I would suggest you to learn the Taiwan Chinese, because in China or in Malaysia, we don't learn the traditional Chinese, but in Taiwan they are still using the traditional Chinese. Because in the Japanese language proficiency test, JLPT, there are a lot of questions about kanji. For my Kawan Melayu and Indian friends, they are really suffering from learning the kanji. But as for me, the Malaysian Chinese, kanji for me is just easy peasy. So if you know Chinese or Mandarin, then you are 2 times faster learning Japanese from others. So for tips number 2 is the mobile chatting application named Hello Talks. So basically, Hello Talk is a mobile chatting application for foreigner like us to learn the language that want, not only Japanese, but instead there are many Japanese people are using it, so it's really nice to learn from here. And I'm not doing any advertisement or advertising this application. This is all based on my personal opinion, my personal experience on using these applications. So let me show you how it works. So when you register an account for Hello Talks, it will ask you to insert your native language and the language that you want to learn. So after you have filled in everything, it will guide you to this user interface. Then you see the other user who are the expert for the language you want to learn, and this application will automatically filter out all the person who want to learn your native language as well. By using this application, you must be very initiative to search the people, to contact with them, to say hello, I want to learn Japanese, and what's your requirement. Need to be very serious, and when you find a partner, you can actively ask the person to teach you the language you want to learn, or correct your sentence, or ask anything else, anything that could improve the language that you want to learn. And remember, don't use this application as a dating application. Is very rude, because in Hello Talks, everybody want to learn the language, not for dating, okay? So for tips and tricks to apply your learning to your interests. So for my method is because that I like to read manga, like novels, watch anime, and listen to Japanese music. And I could learn Japanese language from all of these interests or hobby. So for example, if you are a music lover, you can search any Japanese song that you like. Don't tell me you never listen to Japanese song, because I'm sure there will be one Japanese song, at least one Japanese song that you will like to listen to. Then go search for a song with a translation lyrics, and when you listen to the song, look at lyrics. So when you are reading the lyrics or comparing the lyrics with the translations, for every single word that you are not understand, for example the Japanese term that you are not understand, go ahead, check it with dictionary or go to Google Translate or any translation tool and then record it down. So for the main summary point here is do anything you like, but you search the Japanese version. For example, if you like to read novel, you go search the Japanese version of your novel and then read it. For example, you like to play games and then you change to the Japanese voice and the Japanese subtitles. Make sure or to force yourself to learn from that.
Nope.
One more thing, if you are learning from anime, you need to be very careful. So, why do I say this? Because in anime, most of the grammar are usually incorrect and inappropriate. And there are some terms and phrases that you would never ever try to say in front of Japanese people. Those terms and phrases are Kakatte koi. Oi, namen! 勝負だ。おい、貴様だ。この俺様だ。させるか。So in real life, when you're telling other people, "Hey, please don't do it," you won't be させるか. You'll only be like, はい、すみません。しないでください。はい、お願いします。はい、ありがとうございます。Yeah, watching anime is still good to improve your Japanese language, but just please get rid of all those fighting anime, the hot blood anime, because the terms they use are not really help in your Japanese. But you can watch the school life anime or the office anime. It's pretty good that they use the correct grammar and the correct phrases, and they even have their culture on how to greet colleague, how to greet their boss. I hope this video helped you, and if you like it, do more video like this in the future. If you want more video like this, hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button, because your support is always the best motivation that encourage me to do next video. See you again next time. Sayonara.